What makes a house a home? We've been searching the country for Scotland's Home of the Year. And now, 6 regional winners have made it through to the grand final at Glasgow's House for an Art Lover by renowned architect Charles Rennie Mackintosh. Deciding who will win the title are our judges. Interior designer Anna Campbell-Jones.
It feels like the calibre of the homes this year is better than they've ever been, and I'm really looking forward to talking about them.
Architect Danny Campbell.
I'm so excited to meet the faces behind the fascias and try and help pick a winner from these 6 incredible homes.
And Isle of Mull-based interior designer Banjo Beale.
I'm very excited to meet the homeowners, and if the homes match the people behind them, it's going to be a really fun day.
In the end, only one can be Scotland's Home of the Year. The finalists begin to arrive.
My house is a beautiful old farmhouse granite cottage in Aberdeenshire, and it's been completely gutted, back to brick, and brought back to life. Just achieving those things in itself, I'm really proud, and then to be here is like an extra cherry on top.
Honeysuckle Cottage we think it's one of the oldest cottages in Moffat.
And over the last 10 years, we've changed every room in the house, pretty much all the interiors to suit our family a growing family of pets and children. So it's exactly how we want it.
Our home is the Earth House.
It's an old fishing lodge. Needed a lot of work. It was just about trying to create something where, kids can come together, where grandkids can come together.
And I think it's astounding that we've made it to the finals, so we're thrilled.
I think it's very safe to say our home is a reflection of our personalities.
I think it is, and it's going to change again. It's not something that's like stuck forever. None of it's
precious. No.
I'm really nosy, so I can't wait to see the other houses. Really, genuinely can't wait to see them.
So the Old Mill is a early 19th century Carden mill, which was a bit of a ruin.
I didn't ever imagine it'd be a home, but he's absolutely made it a home, and one that we love and we're so proud of him.
Our house is a split-level mid-century bungalow, which we have been working on for the past couple of years.
Really looking forward to seeing everybody else's homes because there's always such a variety.
And I'm really looking forward to meeting the judges.
Our finalists will now meet each other and the judges for the first time.
So basically the original cottage would have just been 2 rooms, so just these 2 bits here, and then this was all added on in like the 1990s.
So we took that away, gave the space back to the utility. The shower was in here.
Ah.
And then put the bath in there.
And then what is this?
Well, hello and welcome. It's amazing to put faces to all these absolutely stunning homes.
Thank you so much for letting us into your incredible homes. It's been an inspiring experience seeing what you've created.
We've been to 18 homes across Scotland, and you are our lovely 6 finalists, but it's over to us to decide which one can become Scotland's Home of the Year.
And it's going to be a bit of a dust-up this year because all the homes are so incredible.
Are you ready for an argument?
Game on.
Wish us luck.
Cheers, guys.
The judges retire to the deliberation room where they will consider each home in turn, choosing their top 3 before going on to decide the ultimate winner.
So shall we start with the 1960s bungalow representing the West? Let's have a look.
Oh, look at that.
Honestly, walking in there, what a shock, wasn't it?
It's so much to take in, but it was also the more you get into it, you realise how clever it was.
Yeah, amazing what you can do with gaffer tape.
Oh, yeah.
It's so full of joy.
In Mulgai, 1960s bungalow is home to Anna, Harry and their daughters Marley and Lexi.
I think the thing that sets our house apart is the colour. What we've tried to do is just balance quite strong colours. That's, I think, is a bit braver than some, which are quite white and, they're quite tasteful, whereas our house is not tasteful at all.
Having our home being judged, I think, is interesting and exciting. I'm totally up for any opinions that anyone has about our house. and I just can't wait to see what they say, even if it's bad. I'm absolutely fine with that. I just think it's interesting.
I don't think I've ever been in an interior like that, anything like that.
No, it's like never judge a book by its cover. Cute cover, but once you open it, it was like a pop-up book, wasn't it? Everything came to life.
Yes, even the light switches were annotated with little stickers and words. It was like there was no stone left unturned where creativity could be found.
One of the things I really appreciated about this home was, despite the fact that they were such clearly creative people, they kept that unassuming exterior, that they were quite happy not showing off to the outside world. It was for them, what they did.
Yeah, and it also felt just really happy and healthy inside there. Like, the light and the playfulness, it was kind of just well put together, wasn't it?
Okay, so it seems like we're all a little bit or quite a lot in love with the 1960s bungalow. So that's definitely staying on the table.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere.
She ain't going nowhere for now. Okay, so let's move on to our finalist from the Central, the Old Mill.
Oh, showstopper outside, wasn't it?
It's a big boy, this one.
Yes.
Such an amazing space to be in with all that height.
And the little bits of industrial history, you know, always remembering what had been before.
The Old Mill near Dunblane is home to Dawn, Lee, their kids, Max and Ali, and Jude, the Labradoodle.
I guess what sets ours apart is that, you know, it was a commercial building. It was never intended to be a home. It's just crazy. When Lee told me he really loved it, I was thinking, oh no, this can never be a home. It really can't be. I couldn't even see it. But now, here we are, and it's an amazing home and we love it.
The whole family's also helped throughout the project, which has been really pleasing, especially my dad, who's had some really nice touches and finishing touches, and he has got a special talent, so to have that throughout the house is something we'll cherish.
You told me it would change my life, and I said it wouldn't, but it actually has. It's lovely.
I mean, it was an amazing property. From the moment we arrived, we were just kind of taken aback by the sheer scale of it. And I really just appreciated how they just kept to the two distinct materialities. There was the old and the new, and it was really bold.
Yeah. I think they've meticulously resuscitated that house, and they've kind of reinvented what an old house could be. They've taken some liberties maybe with their finishes and tried to make things look a little bit older than what they are, but they're living in their absolute dream home. You feel it, don't you? It
was a very theatrical home, wasn't it? With lots of set pieces and different ways maybe that you should behave in the different areas.
Do you think maybe the theatre part pushed a bit too hard sometimes when they were still looking at exposing all that older character of the building, or?
I don't know, you're talking to two drama queens. More theatre.
Well, should we keep that in play for now then, despite the sort of little nigglings about authenticity and ageing?
Yeah, I'm not ready to say goodbye to it.
Okay, cool. So, a sudden change of scale now. Our finalists for the North East and Northern Isles, the Quiney Cottage. Let's remind ourselves of what it was like.
What a cutie.
The layering of the patterns in that home was just incredible.
Oh, what a moment, that checkerboard threshold.
Sorry to be so dry, but the way they connected that space with 4 different door types, I was just loving that.
You're such a nerd.
Quiney Cottage in Bankery is home to Rachel and her cat, Drizzy.
I think definitely my home stands out for the colour and the pattern that I've used. You can probably tell a lot of it has been either handmade or been done by me, so there's lots of really personal touches. I am very proud of my home. I'm proud of myself, of all the hard work that I've put in, all the things I've learned doing the renovation and kind of the whole process. I love living in it and I love how it looks. And then having this experience on top of that, it just feels like the cherry on top, and it really is quite special.
Oh, it was love at first sight. I think this is absolute fantasy cottage material, isn't it? When you have a home that small, it really has to work hard for you, and that home is working really hard. I think it is an expression of their personality. It's just so much fun, and I can tell so much love has been poured into that. That's a home.
Even though it's not things that I would put together, I felt really at home there. I think it's because you did have such a strong sense of whose home it was from the really, really idiosyncratic combinations of colours and patterns and textures.
It was millimetre perfect in its layout. They squeezed everything they possibly could into there, which was ticking all the nerdy boxes for me. But I still left with that feeling of, it's just so cute, isn't it? It's adorable. It's like a little nephew or something. You just want to like pick it up, go in its own way against all these big, impressive homes, and it's like the little underdog.
Yeah, it's like a little doll's house, isn't it? And the homeowner has made every little piece to fit that house perfectly. I mean, it's quite magical.
It's so innocent, isn't it? And I really just don't want to hurt its feelings, so should we just keep it where it is for now?
Yeah.
Definitely keeping that on the table, yes. Yes, because it made us feel like three little dolls, didn't it?
Speak for yourself.
So, no eliminations yet means all 3 homes considered so far are still in the running. But what do the other homeowners think?
I absolutely love the carpet on your stairs. That is so amazing. I think it was some kind of duct tape or something on the ceiling. I thought that was really cool. A really fun, kind of playful house.
When we found the mill, there were buildings wrapped all the way around it.
You could see the sheer amount of kind of architectural work that they had to do to bring it to where it was.
And I love that you have the stripes here and you're not afraid to clash a pattern. It's so confident in her decorating style. It's absolutely incredible. I think she's achieved a lot.
But there are still 3 more homes for the judges to consider.
Honeysuckle Cottage, which was our finalist from the south. Shall we remind ourselves what that was like?
Gorgeous space.
It's very, very serene colour palette.
They're reptiles. Did you forget about
yeah, there
those?
he is. Jungle Room.
Jungle Book.
Honeysuckle Cottage in Moffat is home to Bryony, Mark and their sons Grayson and Xavier.
I think the thing about Honeysuckle Cottage is that it was an old cottage and it's transformed, so it's had to adapt for the different people that have lived in it over the years. And I think that's nice because it kind of tells a story about the home itself.
I've changed careers because of it. I was a general manager of a health club and now I'm a tradesperson because of the house. It's been one long apprenticeship for me, learning all the new skills. But I'm really proud of Bryony because she has the vision, the creative vision, and it's her instruction, to me, and that allows the house to have that lovely homely feel to it. She's just really done a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Who doesn't love a Scottish cottage? I mean, they're very aspirational, but one of the things is that they can become really dark. What they've done is actually really clever. They've added on 2 extensions, a big glazed extension really to the front, which is south-facing, and then the basement extension, obviously adding on a social space and adding on a bedroom.
And when you went down the stairs, that was a surprise packet, having that bedroom that led off into the garden. Escaping your children, leave them upstairs with the reptiles, and you can go downstairs.
Whilst there were aspects of his home that I thought were really clever, like the way it was extended and the way that it actually went down when you thought it might go up, I still felt like some of the rooms were more successful than others. There are other homes that have a higher level of consistency across more spaces. So I'm suggesting that we consider Honeysuckle Cottage not being in our final 3.
It's fine margins in this final, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all so great.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's a tough benchmark that we've got, and maybe, just maybe, there are some that kind of just pip it at the post.
Okay, so we're going to say farewell to Honeysuckle Cottage. So, in another leap of scale and geography, let's go to Highlands and Islands and remind ourselves of the Earth House.
Oh, the apothecary room. Everyone needs one.
No home should be without one.
Oh, that dining room, that was incredible. The exposed beams as well.
And that's just a guest bedroom.
Earth House near Abbeymoor is home to Salim and Diane.
So Earth House, the way we kind of imagined it, was really around not what was on the walls, but what was through the windows. So we tried to use a lot of the kind of textures, colours, even the proportions that you'd find in nature. We tried to use even things like golden ratio to make sure that, windows were harmonised, that they were balanced.
So regardless of what happens, we're just really grateful that this house has had an opportunity to be seen and be felt after 300 years. It just feels very special that she gets to be on a larger stage.
Many of the spaces look like they're straight out of a magazine, yet the combination of them together, the location, I don't know, the temperature, the feel, whatever it is, when you walk into that home, you feel like you are somewhere unique.
There were unique and special features everywhere, from the furniture choices to the lighting under the skirting, that amazing circular shower in that turret. It really had a lasting impression on me.
I think it had a lasting impression on all three of us, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it cast a spell on me, quite honestly. It's a grand house, that's undeniable. And although it was kind of austere in many ways, it still felt like a home, which is quite a feat for something like that, decorated in that style. And I can't put my finger on what it was about that home, but there was something magical in there.
Okay, so I think it's pretty safe to say that we would like that one to be considered to be in our final three.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So there's only one home that we haven't talked about, and that's Coldwater, this incredible bungalow that's our finalist from the East.
Oh, that space.
That bar, that sunken lounge. Oh, I like that room, the little den.
Yeah.
All the children's rooms were so unique as well, weren't they?
Mid-century bungalow Coldwater is home to Fran, Martin and their children Bailey and Esme.
I think our home, it already was a building made for the modern way of living. So the flow and everything feels really nice in there already, but we've come in and kind of tried to make it modern but still homely.
And to keep it really playful all the while. Dinosaurs and colours and silliness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. First and foremost, it's a family home. So we've tried to kind of blend a whole bunch of styles in there, basically.
Yeah. This is a hidden gem from an architectural style. I mean, modernism gets a really bad rap with all the high-rise and buildings that were built quickly, but this one clearly was built with a real consideration to the site, the orientation, the views, and it still works really well to this day.
I think maybe that's it. They've inherited a really beautiful building and it's working for them now as a family home, but they've not lost the identity and integrity of the building, which I think can often happen with homes like this. They've kept the kitchen, they've got that open plan sunken lounge, and they've lent into the era.
It's interesting because they're very different styles, but the themes that we've been discussing across Coldwater and the Old Mill have some commonalities. They're both homes that have played with the history of the building and added to it. So I'm going to throw my hat in the ring at this point. I think that Coldwater shows a deeper understanding of what the building means and a really good understanding of how to make something feel like a home.
I hate to agree with you so quickly. It really pains me inside, but one of the things I found so impressive about this home when we arrived was the simplicity of the old and the restoration. And I did feel that that was lost as we went through the home, as they were maybe making too much of a deliberate attempt to add more old, where, you know, they could have just gone for a bit more new.
But I just have to say that that was designed to be a home, and what the homeowner has done is unquestionably fantastic. But these homeowners, they've taken an industrial building and reinterpreted it as a modern home. And I just have to applaud their imagination and ingenuity in bringing that back to life. So that's kind of what I'm weighing up.
I completely get what you're saying, but this is not a restoration competition. We're talking about home and what home really, really means and what we are perceiving as home when we are very kindly invited into these buildings. Just get more of a sense of home in Coldwater, more a sense of it being inhabited than I did with the old mill.
You're right.
We're agreed the old mill is not going to be in our final three.
Flip her over.
Flip it over, okay.
The old mill is out of the competition, but Coldwater and Earth House remain.
He did all the design work, actually, and everything's restored as much as can be possible.
They've obviously got a fantastic view, so they took advantage of that, positioning the bath next to a window. And they've used a lot of natural materials in the wood and the parquet floor, so that was lovely to see as well.
So we took that away and gave the space back to the utility. The shower was in here. And then put the bath in there.
I really liked Fran and Martin's mid-century bungalow. I thought that was fantastic. There was decisions made that were really super bold, but they worked. And they worked in a really good way.
Put the TV and
this section here.
stuff. Yeah.
Right.
It's tough, but with 1960s bungalow, Quiney Cottage, Coldwater and Earth House still in the running, the judges must eliminate one to get to their final three.
This is really, really, really difficult. But I think I would turn over Coldwater. I don't want to. It's the one. I'm going to go and get the particulars and buy it next week.
I did find myself comparing Coldwater and Quiney Cottage in particular. I feel like of all the homes we've seen, architecturally, Coldwater was the most significant for me.
Naturally, I gravitate towards Quiney Cottage because that is a little bit me. Like I'm a little bit Nana. But then I kind of look at that modernist gem and I think, oh, wow, I could live in that and feel healthy and connected with nature.
One of the things that I've been using in my head to judge the homes by as we've been traveling across the country is not just the interior space and how it comes together, but how it's embedded in its site. I felt with Coldwater, regardless which space we were in, there was that touch point with the outside and where they were positioned within the building. You would get different experiences throughout different times of day.
I think they've followed the rules and it's perfectly designed and they've interpreted it really well. But then Quiney Cottage, we're not talking about how it's connected to the environment. We're talking about what she's done with those four walls, and that's like so adorable and cute and handmade. So I feel like I can't say goodbye to that, so I'll turn over the modernist.
Shall we agree that Earth House should definitely be in our final three, that the Quiney Cottage and the 1960s bungalow are both too ebullient in their self-expression to not be in the final three, that means that Coldwater gets turned over?
It's fair enough. The three that would be left are incredible, and I'm already dreading the conversation.
I know. Let's go and have a lie down in a darkened room, shall we?
Shall we turn
But let's turn over Coldwater.
Now the hardest task. From the final three, the judges must decide if Quiney Cottage, Earth House or 1960s bungalow will become Scotland's Home of the Year.
Danny, where's your head at?
It's so difficult, isn't it? I feel like the 1960s bungalow, they could be trapped in a vacuum and still find something to scribble on. The Quiney Cottage, somebody has just pursued this dream of getting the most idyllic, vernacular Scottish cottage, but executed it with so much exactness around the spatial qualities. It just really, really works for me. And then the Earth House just really blew my mind in terms of how unusual it was and how much fun it was whilst also still being so classy.
I think Quiney Cottage was tastefully done as well, and the little details from like an architectural, spatial planning point of view, that transition of the floor going into the bathroom was superb, but then the cute little detailings of of the scullery. So I get that. I think Earth House has done so in a completely different way, creating something that allows them to celebrate the rituals and the things that matter, and they've created really amazing gathering spaces.
If we're talking about stylistic interpretation of these homes, the thing that sets the 1960s bungalow apart from the other two is that I genuinely feel that only those people could make that home look like that. Whereas there probably are other versions in the world of spaces like those in the Quiney Cottage and those in the Earth House.
The 1960s bungalow does not hold a candle to how these two look from the outside. These homes have been selected partly due to their external impression on people. And there's something really humble about a generic house type that has just exploded with life.
I hear you. I know which one I'd live in. I know which one I'd photograph for an interior design book. But one that they've managed to create a home, but an original home in the most unexpected way, in a really surprising place. That's quite a feat, isn't it? I think I felt something quite remarkable in all of these homes, but one did linger with me. And I do keep coming back to it. I didn't walk into today thinking that would be my winner.
I don't think any of us had an idea of how this conversation was going to end up, because the quality of the homes has been so incredible and they're so diverse and they are so brilliant. But we have to agree on which one is the winner. So are we all happy with the decision?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'm happy.
Goodness me.
Oof.
So which one have the judges chosen? It's time for them to reveal Scotland's Home of the Year.
Well, after a lot of discussion and deliberation, we've finally whittled it down to one winner.
And it's evident from seeing you all here that your homes are true reflections of what creative and wonderful people you are. It really is our pleasure to celebrate your success.
And trust us when we say this has not been an easy decision.
But there can only be one winner. And Scotland's Home of the Year is the 1960s bungalow.
Well done. Congratulations.
Genuinely don't know what to say. I was not expecting that. We feel great about winning Scotland's Home of the Year, don't we?
Amazing.
I actually really do, so thank you.
But genuinely shocked.
Genuinely shocked, but in a really cool way, because I thought it was maybe the really left field home, which is cool. I didn't mind being that tall, but I didn't think it would win. So I'm kind of really flattered, I have to say. Yeah. After saying I wasn't bothered about winning, I'm really glad I won.
So let's go home and do stuff and just ruin it.
No,